Manchester City pulled off a win yesterday, but if you're wondering whether Manchester City can continue the win, this breakdown will dive deep into City's strategies, outcomes, and what's next for City. Today, I'll be discussing both Manchester City and Liverpool's games, because the two matches were somewhat similar in terms of approach. Both teams adopted what could be called a third-place mode, focusing on central attacks, rather than spreading play wide, but the outcomes were quite different. Of course, Bournemouth is weaker compared to Manchester City, but you can also see the impact of those two players who went to Manchester City instead of Liverpool. It made all the difference. Let's start with Manchester City's win against Wolves. Initially, my prediction wasn't very confident about Manchester City's chances, but I did mention that if they were to win, they needed to let Erling Haaland take the lead today. They should not let Marmoush start again, as it would be disastrous. Starting Marmoush would be the smarter move, and it turned out to be the right decision. Marmoush scored early, which shows why I suggested this approach. Today's game was clearly about winning individual duels, and in this third-place mode, breaking through a packed central area naturally requires numbers. Sending crosses into Haaland isn't as overwhelming as it used to be, but Marmoush's ability to find space was far more effective. Today wasn't about high balls or crosses to the midsection. You saw how Darwin Núñez delivered those balls. Marmoush's movement into space was crucial, and Haaland hasn't been in that kind of form recently. Wolves have improved lately, playing with 5 defenders in a compact shape. Manchester City, using this third-place mode, attacked centrally without stretching the play wide, which made it very crowded. You could see how Ryan Cherki tried to create chances and break through, but it was difficult because he often faced 1-on-3 situations. However, when they did manage to create 1-on-1 opportunities, someone suddenly stepped up to win the individual duel. Of course, you need high-quality players to make that happen. The key is being able to generate these occasional 1-on-1 chances in a crowded central area, and to do that, players need to constantly move around, which is referred to as free-floating movement. Marmoush exemplifies this. He suddenly drifts wide, then quickly moves back into the center, unsettling Haaland, who hasn't been making those kinds of runs lately. This style of play benefits Marmoush greatly, as players constantly swap positions and float around to find one-on-one opportunities. Around the 30th minute, Marmoush even hit the post with a long-range shot, nearly earning a penalty. Haaland hasn't been creating those chances recently. Marmoush also managed to activate Ryan Cherki up front, creating some good combinations. Antoine Semenyo, playing centrally, usually struggles in 1-on-3 situations, but when he gets a 1-on-1 chance, he takes the shot and scores. In the second half, Manchester City's energy faded as the constant movement and free-floating policy drained stamina. There wasn't much happening until Jeremy Doku came on. Doku's introduction added dynamism and energy, and his quick turns and passes created chances for Semenyo, who shot from central positions. This continuous free-floating movement is similar to quickly ending attacks because you have to seize one-on-one opportunities immediately. They don't come often. This inevitably leads to wasted energy and longer defensive periods. To conserve energy, you need to revert to championship mode, spreading play wide and building attacks patiently. By stretching the play wide, you create gaps and use short passes to exploit those spaces. When gaps open up, you don't need one-on-one duels, you're free to act. This allows you to conserve energy and stay in position instead of constantly moving around. So why is Manchester City playing this way lately? Even with the addition of Semenyo, the squad only has 2 reliable options, Doku and Semenyo, so they can't play championship mode every game. With a packed schedule, they have to rotate, which means they can't always use the championship approach. Instead, they adopt this third-place mode, focusing on central, free-floating movement to win individual duels and exploit occasional moments of brilliance. Moving forward, I think they'll continue this approach, as championship mode isn't always feasible. Even after Manchester United's match, Guardiola might realise that Semenyo isn't fully comfortable with Championship mode, so they'll stick to this strategy. Semenyo will focus on central one-on-one duels and moments of brilliance, hoping to get through this half-season. However, the downside is longer defensive periods, as seen in the second half when Wolves had more shots than Manchester City. The importance of Manchester City's defence has grown, and not conceding today was crucial. Why has their defence stabilised? They signed a new player, it's as simple as that. Just like Liverpool's sudden rise when they signed Virgil van Dijk, signing a good defender can immediately improve the team. Marc Guéhi was excellent today, disrupting the opponent's counter-attacks with his strong tackles. Watching the early stages of the match, I noticed Guéhi's solid performance and immediately shared with the chat room that he was a reliable addition to the defence. The basic organisation was sound, with good forward passing, and in the 9th minute a long ball sent Semenyo through on a semi-counter attack. Manchester City has also started practicing offside traps, which has been effective. While the team hasn't returned to Championship mode or mastered the high-concept possession-based play, signing Guéhi and another player has helped significantly. Without these signings, Manchester City would be in a much worse position. Someone asked if I would comment on Guéhi's transfer to Manchester City given the busy schedule. I've already detailed Guéhi's abilities. He excels in pushing forward and organising the backline, and since returning from the European Championship, his ground interceptions and speed have improved significantly. His height is also an advantage, though Wolves' forwards weren't tall enough to challenge him today. Wolves did have several counter-attacks but missed good passing opportunities. While they showed some weaknesses, Manchester City hasn't fully recovered, but is at least doing normal things again and can slowly rebuild. As for catching up to Arsenal, you need to consider various factors, such as rotation depth and the form of key players. Haaland's prolonged slump isn't helpful, and Doku and other starters aren't in top form yet. As the season progresses to more crucial matches, they need to improve gradually and hope to close the gap. It's already February, and by March, Manchester City will need to chase Arsenal aggressively. Arsenal would have to collapse entirely for Manchester City to catch up. If Arsenal doesn't collapse, Manchester City can only secure a top 4 spot, even with the new signings. In my opinion, Arsenal won't collapse this season. Even if key players like Jorginho struggle, they can still keep winning because they've maintained depth and fitness, even with some defensive injuries. For now, Manchester City will have to hope that Manchester United can help them out tonight. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to show your support for the channel.